Hi guys, Kaiser here, and today we've got news of a brand new patch coming out for Age of Empires 2. This is update 73855. And this patch is the end of an era and the beginning of a new one for team players. And you're going to see what I'm talking about in just a second. So let's go ahead and dive right in. It is a patch that introduces a new event for the game. They've got this Winter Wonderland Fest going on. The Frosty Friends from the North event, so a couple of really cute profile icons and some graphical mods if those are your thing, where scorpions now shoot Christmas trees and light cavalry ride on frost-maned horses. If mods are your kind of thing, and you know, icons, so they're pretty cute. They're pretty cute. But let's move on. That's definitely not where I want to put the spotlight. Changes to the game. First, we've got some stability and performance updates, which look pretty great. Fixing different game crashes, fixed an issue where some recorded games generated after the 71094 patch were out of sync, which I actually ran into that issue once or twice myself, so I'm glad they're fixing that. Icon for Fortress in the map pool vote menu is now correct. Okay, that's nice. When a player changes the map in the lobby settings, the map size does not reset to tiny anymore. Okay, haven't run across that. That's nice. Gameplay updates. Shrivamsha riders cannot block splash damage of nearby units anymore. Definitely a bug. Glad they got that fixed. I've not run into that myself, but really, really glad that's not in there. Chain commands now work properly when commanding multiple monks. That's really cool. So here's what I think that means. You got a group of monks and you have the technology that... and I'm forgetting the name of it off the top of my head, but the tech that if you select a bunch of monks and you tell them all to convert one unit, then only one of the monks will actually lose his faith upon conversion. I think what you could do now, which you could not do before, is you can grab a group of monks and you can hold shift and you can right-click multiple units. And so as soon as the first conversion goes off, all of the other monks that have faith will immediately target the second unit, and then the third, and the fourth, so on and so forth. I'm assuming that's what that means, which is a pretty nice little, micro bonus for players who like to mass monks after that tech has been researched. Fixed an issue where units garrisoned in allied buildings could not be ungarrisoned. Okay, glad that one's fixed. Another small little team game fix there. Here we go. This is the big one. This is the whole point of this video, other than just sharing the patch notes. General Civ balance change. The shared line of sight setting is now defaulted on for all matchmaking modes, including lobby games. So this is the third time, to my memory, that the team vision has changed in Age of Empires. If I remember correctly, in the original Age of Empires 2, you had to get up to the feudal age, you had to build a market, and then you had to research the cartography technology in the marketplace in order to see your allies' line of sight. And then that got changed, that tech was removed to what we've been used to up to this point, where you have to get up to the feudal age, you build the market, and as soon as you build the marketplace, that cartography tech was automatically researched, and you were able to see what your allies saw as soon as you built the market. Well, now, the way the game works, team games, is you are able to see everything that your allies can see right at the start of the game. So this is very similar to how games do it, strategy games do it in the present day, modern games. It was a very unique aspect of Age of Empires 2 that you had to wait and get up to the feudal age and get the market out. And I know for me personally, at least, that was a big part of my team game strategy. That's an important factor that went into what I was building. Even on games, even when I had allies on Discord, I needed to be able to see what my friends saw. So I'd throw down that market as quickly as possible. That's gone now. And speaking of which, my buddy Hiram of Tyre, he used to love, and he still does, playing as the Portuguese. And one of the reasons why was he really enjoyed that shared line of sight bonus for right out of the gate at the start of the game, he enjoyed that bonus for his teammates. Well, you don't need the Portuguese for that anymore. It is as if everybody has that Portuguese bonus. That's pretty wild. That will definitely change how team games are played, at least at the casual level. I don't know if it'll change so much for pro level games, but certainly at my level, and I would expect at the level of most of us, this is huge. Parthian Tactics now gives the same anti-spearman bonus damage to Cav Archers as to other mounted archer units, and heavy Cav Archer anti-spearman attack has been increased from 2 to 4. So that means that Parthian Tactics, I guess what it meant was it gave other mounted archer units like the Ratha or the mounted elephant archer, they got an increase to anti-spearman damage. They did bonus damage against spear units with Parthian Tactics. Well, now Cav Archers get that, and then heavy Cav Archers get 2 more bonus damage to spearmen with that tech up. So I'm gonna guess that 2 is the default number for Cav Archer. So then you go from 2 to 4 with heavy Cav Archer, and then 2 more on top of that now with Parthian Tactics. So I'm suspecting that Cav Archers will be way better at knocking out spear trash units in the future. Pretty cool. Speaking of Cav Archers, Battle Elephants... No, I'm sorry, I'm thinking Elephant Archer. Never mind. But Battle Elephants' cost has been reduced from 120 food and 70 gold to 110 food and 70 gold. So just a little bit cheaper to mass up, and 10 food doesn't sound like a lot, but that's per unit. So 10 elephants, that's 100 food difference, and that adds up. So that's pretty nice. All right, unique Civ changes, and I've got to say, I am a little sad. There are no nerfs coming for my hated enemies, the Britons. The Franks have not been changed either, but they might have something planned in the future. We'll see. For now, the Burmese. Parthian Tactics now applies to Arambai. And I guess that means the Arambai will get that +2 bonus damage to to spearmen alongside everything else that Parthian Tactics brings. So nice for the Burmese, little buff there. Arambai are stronger now. Byzantines fixed an issue where cataphracts with Logistica were dealing less than intended damage to condottieri. That's got to be very situational, but glad to fix this in. Nice for the Byzantines. They're a fun civ to play. The Gurjaras. Ooh, here we go. Mounted unit bonus damage has been changed from 40% to 20% in the Feudal Age, 30% in the Castle Age, and 40% in the Imperial Age. Mounted unit bonus damage. So I'm forgetting what that means. With the Gurjaras, isn't that they just do more damage, like for all of their mounted units? Well, okay. Point is, this bonus is now stacked, so they're not going to be nearly as strong in the Feudal Age. You've got to get all the way to Imperial Age in order to have the full bonus that you used to have right out of the gate. So definitely a nerf to Gurjaras, and they're taking a pretty big hit here. Chakram and Elite Chakram damage has been reduced from 5 and 3 to 6 and 4. I'm going to assume, I could be wrong about this, but I believe that 5 damage is the initial hit damage, and then 3 is the pass-through damage. So if you were targeting one unit, that unit would take 5 damage, and any unit behind it would take 3. No, I'm being goofy. No, it just went from 5 damage to 3 damage. That's way simpler. All right, so it used to do 5 damage per shot. Now it does 3 damage per shot. And Elite used to do 6, now it does 4. So the Elite Chakram Thrower now does 1 less damage than the old default Chakram Thrower did. So definitely a really big nerf. I think a lot of people consider the Chakram one of the strongest unique unit in the game. Way too strong, so this does not surprise me. Chakram pass-through damage has increased from 50% to 100%. So actually, what I was kind of messing up on earlier, it used to be that your target would do 5 damage, and then every unit behind it would take 2.5 damage, right? Well, now they only do 3 damage, but they will do full damage to units that take the pass-through damage. So, to me, I guess that further solidifies the Chakram's role as a trash unit killer, a mass unit killer. You want to mass up Chakrams against big balls of enemy units. You know, that is your goal there. But you're not able to nuke down individual targets nearly as effectively as you used to. And the Elite Chakram now does +1 bonus damage versus infantry. So you can get back up to 5 damage per shot if you are fighting against men-at-arms, spears, infantry units. But that means that they're not as effective against archers or cav. So that's really nice. It gives the Chakram a little bit more of a defined role, and to me it seems like their pros and their cons are clearer. So that's really nice. I like what they've done there for the Gurjaras. Hindustanis also, they've had the eye on them. A little bit of a nerf here. Camel attack speed bonus has been reduced from 25% to 20%. So still a strong bonus. Hindustani camels are still good, but not quite as good as they used to be. All right, fair. The Khmer fixed an issue where ballista elephants were not resistant to armor ignoring damage. Fixed an issue where ballista elephants were not resistant to armor ignoring damage. So they're supposed to be resistant to armor ignoring damage, but they weren't. I gotta say that's a little confusing to me. Like, armor ignoring damage, I'm thinking bonus damage, or maybe something like the Latus, or maybe Custilier charge. I don't actually know what that even means. And the fact that they're actually supposed to have resistance to armor ignoring damage, that's weird. Anyway, clearly a buff of some kind for the ballista elephants. Good for them. Poles. Stone miner bonus reduced from 50% to 33% gold generation. So it used to be the Poles were one of the strongest tower rushing civilizations in the game. If you are like me and you like castle dropping your foe, the Poles were a strong choice because their stone miners would get 1 gold for every 2 stone that they mined. Right? So 2 stone, 1 gold. Now that's been dropped down to 1 gold for every 3 stones. So it's still a nice bonus, still strong. I don't think this will change the Poles' strategy much, but it curbs this feeling. I know I used to experience this playing the Poles. It felt like you didn't need villagers on gold for the longest while, that you could easily get up to the castle age and start pumping out, cav units or whatever, just off of stone miners. You didn't even need gold until deep into the game because you were collecting gold so effectively from your stone. Well, now it curbs that a little bit. You won't be getting quite as much gold out of your stone, and that will force you to rebalance your economy sooner, or, a little more thoroughly before you just go all in on your tower rush. So I like that. Now the Portuguese, this has to be the big one. The Portuguese, like I mentioned before, they used to give you this bonus where line of sight was shared at the beginning of the game. That's now available to everyone. So for the Portuguese, they've got a brand new team bonus, and I think this is really cool because it helps their 1v1 a lot, as well as their team situation. Technologies, excluding the age up techs, all research 25% faster as the Portuguese. And so that was something that used to be a bonus for them. Well, now it's a team bonus. And then they have a brand new civilization bonus. Foragers generate a trickle of wood. So let's break this down. First with the team bonus. All right, everybody on your team now researches text 25% faster. That's pretty cool. That is pretty nice. And then, I can see how that would be just a kind of a fun bonus that you're able to play when you're playing with the Portuguese. You could research things a little faster. So that's something they used to have. So now that's been shifted over to team bonus. This new one. Foragers generated a trickle of wood, 33%. So berry bushes have 150 food in them. And there are 6 berry bushes on Arabia. So that's 300, 600, 900 food, if my math's not mistaken. So 900 food out of berries. This bonus means for the Portuguese, you are gathering 33%, which means 300 wood out of your berry bushes on top of whatever your lumberjacks are doing. So that's basically a free town center's worth of food. That's pretty cool. That is pretty neat, and I like this bonus because it is an early game bonus. This is wood that you can use in the early game to help you with early archer play or early aspects for an eco boom or whatever you need to build. You need wood in the early game, and this bonus helps out with that. The Portuguese do not need help in the Imperial Age, and this is not the kind of bonus that is helpful late in the game. It falls off. It's basically, on Arabia, it's useless, after, mid-feudal age at the latest. So I really, really like this bonus because it is an early civilization bonus. Pretty nice. Pretty nice. The Tatars, they fixed an issue where flaming camels were not receiving the intended 40% anti-building bonus damage increase from siege engineers. Okay. Again, I don't know that a lot of people even use flaming camels. I don't think that you would typically use flaming camels to destroy buildings, and I don't think that this would change that. But it's nice that they've got it, so that's pretty cool. Vikings, the warship discount bonus no longer affects transport ships, which is a good thing, and I suppose just helps make the Sicilians, the Sicilian bonus even more unique. So Vikings don't get that. Okay. Alright, random maps. Fixed an issue where one player might get one less buffalo than the other on Golden Swamp. Alright, one less ibex. Sorry, just fixing issues. In Land Nomad, large forests should now stay away from edges a little more consistently on 4v4 to prevent unexpected situations, such as villagers being trapped in a wood line. Well, that's good. Okay. And then finally, let's not ignore this. What's on the horizon? 2022 has been very, very busy for our team. They talk about in this paragraph how basically they're about to release AoE2 Definitive Edition for Xbox, and that has taken a lot of work. They're really excited about it. I would be too. Congratulations to the dev team. Then on top of that, you've got the Return to Rome DLC coming. We know you're anxious for more details, and we'll certainly have more to say about it in the coming months. But again, to be revisiting such beloved content and making the effort to keep it vibrant and accessible to all of you has been a labor of love. It's our privilege to be custodians of such a wonderful game, and we're similarly anxious to deliver this exciting experience and hear what you think. So for me personally, I think this highlighted sentence gives us a hint as to what this Return to Rome DLC is going to be all about. It is certainly looking at Age of Empires 1 and bringing that over, somehow or other, translating that into Age of Empires 2. I think I mentioned it in the last video I had on AoE2. This is not going to be Rome in Age of Empires 2, like a Civ that you can play along with all the other Civs. I consider this a brand new mode. I think it's going to be when you start up the game, they're going to ask you, do you want AoE2 normal or do you want AoE2 Return to Rome? And there's going to be a whole new set of civilizations and features associated with the Return to Rome game mode. That's what I'm suspecting. And I think that's clued in by this phrase, revisiting such beloved content. So revisiting on the one hand implies we're going back to this old material, and I think the old resources that we built for the original Age of Empires DE. But revisiting also suggests to me that this is more than just a coat of paint. I don't think that they're doing this just to give us Age of Empires DE in Age of Empires 2. I think they're doing this in order to not just introduce the AoE2 engine and the AoE2 features, things like auto seed farms and better pathfinding and that kind of thing. But I suspect that the long-term goal is hopefully it becomes popular, and then they can actually start tweaking those civilizations and introducing new features, new bonuses, maybe even brand new civilizations. I think they want to do with AoE Return to Rome what they've been doing with AoE2 DE. And that way, if you're a purist, you have Age of Empires Definitive Edition. But if you're interested in something exciting and new, that's where Return to Rome comes in. So that's where I stand on that one. That's where I think is coming. And this sentence right here kind of clues us in. Finally, as we bring a new platform and new content to AoE2, we're folding into our ongoing development, which means that monthly updates will go to service everything we're doing. So you can see feedback toward Age 2 on console and the Return to Rome show up in patch notes as bug fixes and changes, just like we've been doing for the past few years with the regular AoE2 DE. Speaking of updates, they've been smaller than normal as we've been heads down on 2 big projects, but there's still so much coming your way. We've got some really exciting surprises still in development, and we'll be updating our roadmap in the early part of next year to give some hints. So that signals to me that, again, they are not abandoning the vanilla AoE2 DE world. They're recognizing the updates so far have been on the smaller side, but we want to drop some really big patches on you in the future. And some big updates to the game, including, I think they're winking and nodding rather overtly, a brand new expansion pack in the vein of Dynasties of India. And we might be hearing more about that, or at least the roadmap and some of these big patch changes in the early part of next year. So we'll have to keep our eyes on that. That's all they've got this time around. And I gotta say again, a small patch, not a lot there, but in this section, they give us some hints as to what the future looks like. It makes me rather optimistic myself. Leave a comment below. What do you think about the future of Age of Empires 2? Where do you think we're going? Where do you want to see the game go? Let me know in the comments below. But I'm really happy that they put this in, and I am also really excited to see how the Portuguese change kind of plays out, whether that makes them stronger on the ladder, whether the Poles will be significantly hit by this stone miner change, the Hindustanis and the Gurjaras. Is this enough to knock them down from the top spots on everybody's tier lists? We'll have to see. Guys, thanks so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed this review of the patch notes, like and subscribe. For now, this is the Iron Kaiser, signing off.